2 new coaches as well. Chris Ash will coach a secondary and also co-coordinate. Kerry Combs will coach our special teams and coach the corners. And our new defensive line coach spent a long time at Penn State, is coaching our defensive line, Larry Johnson. Let's talk about our positions on defense. We've recruited our tails off the last 2 years. You've seen that. I'll be disappointed if we don't have one of the best, if not the best defensive line in college football. The starting 4 at time for now are Joey Bosa at defensive end and Noah Spence at defensive end. 2 big-time players, 2 great young men that represent Ohio State the right way. They're doing excellent for us this spring. Inside, we moved Adolphus Washington to 3 technique and Mike Bennett to nose. Those guys are a little bit interchangeable. Very good defensive front. They had a great day yesterday. And then we have a little bit of depth. Steve Miller from Canton, Ohio is doing good. Tommy Shutt. I know I'm going to forget some guys. Mike Hill and Donovan Munger are going to give us some depth along with Chris Carter inside. And then the defensive end depth is Steve Miller and a kid named Rashad Frazier are the 2 deep right now at defensive end. So once again, I'd be disappointed. We all would be if that's not certainly the best defense line in the Big Ten and one of the best in the country. Linebacker, an area that has not been a strength the last 2 years. However, it's becoming a strength. We've recruited well this past year. Curtis Grant is by far having his best spring. Took over the starting Mike position a year ago. Still a lot of room for improvement, but has really come on this spring and is also one of our 2 or 3 most improved players on defense. The other linebacker, will linebacker, is Josh Perry. He also, without question, falls into one of the most improved guys. Had an excellent day yesterday and really had an excellent spring. Our Sam linebacker is Darren Lee from New Albany. He was a quarterback in New Albany and has, I've called him out in practice many, many times. You've seen about it, heard about him in the media when we discuss who's playing extremely well. And there's a great saying, he doesn't know, he doesn't know. And he's a quarterback from New Albany playing outside linebacker at Ohio State. Figure that one out. But he's been terrific. He's been very hard to block. A guy that just goes 4 to 6 and A to B as hard as he can, and has done very well. Chris Rowley is his backup from Glenville, and he's had a very nice spring as well. So we feel very strong that with continued experience and growth at that position, that could become a strength for us. In the secondary, you got Von Bell, Cam Burrows, and Tyvis Powell, 3 very athletic safeties that have played very well. Von Bell unfortunately got hurt, he's going to miss the rest of spring, but once again he'll be back in about 5 to 6 weeks, and we ought to get him full speed. So Von Bell played very well for us at the end of next year. Tyvis Powell is a guy to watch. He's a guy that was a corner for us, was one of my best team players on special teams, and has had an excellent spring so far. Cam Burrows is another guy we moved from corner to inside, so that's going to be our safety position. We'll be more athletic than we've been the last couple of years, not as experienced, but more athletic, and that's going to allow us to do some more things on defense to be a little bit more aggressive. At corner, you lost All-American, and it's going to be a high draft pick, Brad Roby. The other corners you have right now are Duran Grant. He's the next most improved player on the team and on defense. Has had an excellent spring, has all the talent in the world, and it's going to be his last year as Ohio State a chance to, I expect, to nominate him for an All-Big Ten slot as he continues to grow as a player. Armani Reeves is another corner that played well on special teams, and Garyon Conley is a name to remember. He's a young man that had an excellent day yesterday and is showing flashes to be a corner like we expect to have around here. Eli Apple is a young man that's getting a little better. So we have a little bit of depth at corner, and you can see. So the transition we're going through, and when we hit that speed bump, and I've grown a little bit, matured. Several years ago, I would have tried to jump off the side of the horseshoe after a loss. That's not the way it is. We're expected to play extremely hard and play very well. We're expected at Ohio State to win every game we play. Every recruit, I tell them the same thing in our coaches. Not many places are like that. I was once told, just beat the team up north. It doesn't matter if you lose all other 11 games. That's not the case. I get that. And our staff, and more importantly, our players understand that. The way we took the approach, we're not a big BCD. We don't blame, complain, and defend. If something's wrong, if there's something great about our program, you're going to hear the term enhance it, make it stronger. And that's what we're trying to do. When there's something not exactly right, we don't blame players, we don't blame coaches. We get to the root of the issue and go fix it. And I can't honestly say I've never worked on anything this hard in my life since that day we walked off the field in South Florida to make sure that we have the exact culture that I want, that we all want at Ohio State. And you're going to hear terms such as 4 to 6 and A to B. And 4 to 6 is the length of a play. And we want to teach our players to make sure there's it's absolutely non-negotiable that when the ball snaps, you're going as hard as you possibly can, even overcoming mistakes with great effort. And I don't believe we had that, certainly not the end of that last year. And you're going to hear A to B. Everybody has assignments to do in football. The ability for you to put your foot in the ground and get to your spot as fast as you can. In my mind, being around some great football teams, which Ohio State has had the last 2 years, up until the last 2 games, that's the common theme of everybody. You can overcome technique, you can overcome a bad call, you can overcome a mistake with great effort. What you can't overcome is lack of effort. So that's where we're at right now. So I appreciate you taking time to listen to us. It's an exciting time to be at Ohio State football. If you come out and watch us practice, you're going to see 4 to 6 and A to B. My good friend at the Philadelphia Eagles has been around. I had another couple friends come out and watch us practice. And the common theme is when they leave that field, say that's an outstanding effort and guys going as hard as they can. What I'd like to do now